Well, you getting ready for Lent? It's about 10 days away. It's coming in really fast. Well, if you haven't thought about it yet, if you're still thinking about it, maybe we can help. Every year, we have a Lenten theme at St.Rita. And this year, our theme comes from Romans chapter 6, verse 4. Just as Christ was raised from the dead by the glory of the Father, so we too might live in newness of life. Newness of life. When we talk about the newness of life that Jesus brings, we need to be aware of a few things. One, it's going to be great. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, but God has ready for those who love Him. Two, it's going to be different. And three, we just might need to change a little bit. Or a lot. Jesus is always calling us to change. In today's gospel, he is preaching about change. He is preaching his Sermon on the Mount, which can be found in the Gospel of Matthew, chapters 5, 6, and 7. And if you haven't had a chance to read up on it lately, Lent could be a really good time to do a little scripture study on those chapters. So Jesus is speaking, and he is on a mountain. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. Anytime something's happening on a mountain in Scripture, that's code for it. Listen up. This is really important. And what does Jesus say? He says, "You have heard it said, but I say to you." But I say to you. He is going beyond the letter of the law. And he's getting into the heart of the law. And in the Sermon on the Mount, he says that 6 times. 6 different statements. You have heard it said, but I say to you. And today we heard 3 of them. And the first one that we heard was, you have heard it said, you shall not kill. But I say to you, who's ever angry at his brother or sister, it's not going to go well for you unless you pay attention to that and deal with it. Now, when we hear the commandment explained in this way, it can seem a lot harder to live out. The bar is higher. But you know, it can be really life-giving when we develop a deeper understanding and internalize more what the Lord really intends by saying that. Because anger, harboring anger, is a very, very dangerous thing. Very dangerous. Harboring anger can do so much more than just ruin your day, ruin your week, or even ruin a relationship. Anger can eat you alive if you let it. Maybe you've got some lingering anger in your heart. You just can't seem to shake it. Lent can be a really great time to ask the living God to come into your heart and to lift that anger off of the shoulders of your soul. Maybe it's anger with another person. Maybe it's anger at God himself for how your life has turned out, or for certain situations in your life that you think should just be different. But you know, I think the hardest anger to get rid of is anger with ourselves. Anger with ourselves. We can be so hard on ourselves, can't we? Oh, I can't believe I said that. Why did I do that? I know better. I am so stupid. I have to be the worst person in the world. Does that sound familiar? It does to me. I say that to myself a lot. But that's not how the Lord sees us. He sees through our deeds, and He sees through our words, right to the depths of our heart. And sin needs to be dealt with, to be sure. We need to deal with that. And the sacrament of reconciliation is great for that. What a gift. And Lent is a wonderful time to tap into that. But even then, sometimes we can go and we can confess and we can get absolution, and still we have these lingering feelings and thoughts of remorse or guilt or anger. And we just cannot let it go. Sure, we are forgiven. Thanks be to God. Sometimes we just cannot forgive ourselves. Just can't do it. That is not the newness of life Jesus came to bring us. In the Gospel of John, chapter 8, very beginning, there's an account of Jesus having a conversation with this woman who was caught in adultery. And what does Jesus say to her? He doesn't say, go and think about what you've done and dwell on it the rest of your life. No. What's He say? Go and sin no more. Fresh slate. Newness of life. The heart of the law is mercy. The heart of the law is mercy. And if Jesus can forgive us, we need to be able to forgive others, and we need to be able to forgive ourselves. Or as Francis de Sales puts it so eloquently, be patient with everyone. Above all, with yourself. So as we approach Lent, let's look beyond giving up things or doing things, and let's look into the heart of the law. Let's look into the heart of the living God. Jesus Christ came to set us free and give us newness of life. Let's lean into that newness of life. Let's live in that newness of life. And let's not settle for anything less than the newness of life that Jesus Christ gives to us.